And
fine. I mean,
I think some of the ideas that you're talking about, like with like if somebody can convince people to vote for a venue, then they win something. Like that stuff's super fascinating, and like I love hearing about that stuff. But a lot of these super rad ideas about like, oh, ArtPrize should completely reorder itself and like do this instead. I started to think like, well, that's actually a different event, and that is a super cool idea, and like maybe somebody else should try it, you know. And like, if that starts happening, if this is like these, if it starts sort of like cloning and mutating, and people are like, oh, that's an interesting idea, but I would do it differently, so I'm going to do something similar, but that's with this key difference. That's really fascinating, and there are people doing that, and they talk to us, and they come to us to kind of glean from what we've learned from the experiments that we've done, and then they're like, yeah, we're going to do something similar, but we're going to take that thing about fees, or we're going to take the thing about, you know, how it's totally open to any artist, and we're going to completely do it differently. Because they realize that we have a certain experimented with, but that by no means means that like, it's the end all be all, or that it's unchangeable, or that some other iteration of the idea couldn't work in a different way. Do you know what I mean?
I mean, that makes sense to me, although I would say that right now, though, it reads as though you're saying, like, if ArtPrize were to give back, you know, artist fees at the end of the competition, it would be a totally different competition, which I think is... No, I'm not saying... You know, maybe not what you're trying to say.
No, I'm not saying that. I wasn't picking... No, because that would be a relatively small change. No, I'm not picking that out. I was saying more about like the idea that jurors are sort of competing for their own prizes or something like that.
You know, it wouldn't be, and none of the things I'm suggesting are, I think, suggestions to change ArtPrize into something it's not. It's to make ArtPrize less onerous. When I call ArtPrize a vanity show right now, there are things that I look at it that I think, wow, that just doesn't pass the sniff test. As one artist looking at how artists are being treated. And frankly, that's like what I care about the most. I don't really care how you treat your jurors. I assume they're being treated well.
Which you've made clear.
Right. Well, you know, no offense, Paddy, but like, you know, we're each like playing for our team, right? You're playing for ArtPrize, Paddy's playing for the jurors, I'm playing, or for the convincers, right? And I'm gonna play my part for the producers.
But no, okay,
you say like, wait, you say there's like a 3-mile circle you draw. Why not draw a group of rings from Grand Rapids and say, yeah, within this ring, we don't supply. Like, a venue can invite anyone they want and not be expected to supply any support. But once they go outside that ring into this greater ring, they will be expected to support the artist in a financial way. If they go outside this ring even further, they will be expected to pay this much more. And then artists, on the other hand, will be expected to provide receipts and do all the other things that professional artists have to do to show this is how much money I spent. And that's what I'm being reimbursed for. You know, like these are things about making art more ArtPrize and making it actually like a wonderful thing. So it doesn't look like, you know, Steve Messer called it, they shoot horses, don't they? You know, he likened it to that awful dance contest where these kids are desperately standing on their feet, you know, for this prize held over their heads. And everyone understands like their need for the prize, but it's desperate.